Hello, everyone, and welcome to the New York State and Local Retirement System Retirement Online webinar. My name is Anna Winans, and I am the Outreach and Change Management Lead on the Retirement Online project. This is not a mandatory training, and we appreciate all of you taking the time to join us. We have in the room several experts who can speak to all of your questions about what you might encounter when you begin using Retirement Online. This webinar is to answer questions on notifications in Retirement Online and Go Live readiness. To make sure we are covering as many questions as we can, we have broken this webinar into two different sections. We will start by showing you a demonstration around notifications in Retirement Online and answer any specific questions you have about that topic. We'll then cover any questions you have about how you can best be ready to work in Retirement Online after May 14. Before we get started with our demonstration, let's talk about what it means to get a notification in Retirement Online. On your portal homepage, you will see a notifications panel on the top left corner. This panel will display any new notifications you have. When you have a new notification, you will receive an email. These notifications are connected to specific security roles you have within Retirement Online. Some notifications may call on you to complete an action, while others may be purely informational. Let's take a closer look at notifications with a quick demonstration.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Jordan LaJoy, and I'm here with
Rebecca Fisher.
And we're going to walk you through a quick notification demonstration. So there are many notifications that you may see in Retirement Online when we go live. We've picked a couple to just show you what they look like, what actions you might need to take, and what you can expect. So today, I am playing the role of James Richards. I am a personnel and payroll security holder at a participating employer location code. Now, if you look in the notifications section of my Retirement Online homepage, you'll see that I currently have 3 notifications displayed. In here, I have one that says new loan/SCP deduction, and then I have a couple that are looking for validation of a termination date for a member. Now, the first thing that I want to call out is we really have 2 types of notifications here. We have one that is informational, so that's that first one, loan and service credit purchase, and that's telling me that there's some new information in the system that I might need. The second one, the termination date, is actually going to ask me to take action within that specific notification to supply NYSLRS with some necessary information. Now, that first notification, the new loan service credit purchase deduction, doesn't necessarily mean that I won't have to take action. It just means that there's nothing I have to do in Retirement Online right now, but we're going to go down this path and actually click into that notification in a second. And you'll see that there's some information in there that I will need to update in my payroll system in order to make sure that I am taking the correct service credit and loan deductions for this member.
And just before we continue to the next page, Jordan, I just want to mention that many of you have taken part in our practice sessions and have seen notifications on your boards. It's important to note that these notifications are not valid within the training area and that you will only see valid notifications when we go live.
Exactly. So in other words, don't take any action in your production systems based on notifications you see in our training environment.
Yes.
That's for later when we go live in production. So the first one we just clicked is the loan and service credit purchase deduction change. Now you'll see here that the notification came up and said that there's some new loans and service credit purchase deductions. Now, many of you have multiple members. You're not necessarily going to see a notification for every single member who has a change. We're going to group them. So if there were 20 individuals who had changes that month, you'd effectively see one notification that would direct you to the loan service credit purchase deduction change page. So before we click this link, we're accessing this page through the notification, but Rebecca, we can access this another way as well, right?
Yeah, this link, and there's 3 other links also, are on your employer dashboard. If you wanted to learn more about these links, you can sign up for our virtual lead instructor training titled Employer Reporting Dashboard Review, where you can learn how those links will work for you in Retirement Online.
Exactly. Okay, so let's click that View Loans SCP Deductions. And now we're on the loan and service credit purchase deduction notification change page. Here you can see that we have Miss Alice Smith, and you'll see that we have 2 notifications here. We have one for SCP, This is service credit purchase, formerly known as arrears. And here it looks like she's starting a service credit purchase, and so her new payroll deduction needs to be $14.70. As the payroll security holder, I'm going to go into my payroll system and update that so that that starts coming out of her check appropriately. You'll see the other change deduction is for a loan. So it looks like Alice maybe took another loan out, but her loan deduction amount changed. So I'm also going to go into my payroll system and update that as well. So the idea here is that moving forward, I'll have those changes. The correct amounts will be deducted from Alice's check, and her accounts will remain current. Now, once we're done here, and you may have more that you could also update at this point in time, we're actually going to go back to our account homepage and view that other notification that is requesting that we take action in Retirement Online. So here, we're going to click into the termination date for the member with the NYSLRS ID of R8765431. We'll click in. Looks like this individual's name is John Smith. And it says that John has terminated their employment, and we have to validate that that employment has been terminated at our location and that we've taken final contributions. Now, this could happen because maybe John hasn't been reported in a long time, and the system is auto-identifying that John maybe has terminated their employment. This could also be because John is requesting to withdraw from the retirement system, in which case NYSLRS is still asking me to validate John's termination date. So I'm going to click into confirm termination date. And in here, I actually, as we mentioned earlier, have the ability to take action. So I can see John's information. The first question, has this member's employment been terminated? So if we click that drop down, I'm going to select yes. Now you could also select no in the event that maybe this person just hasn't been reported in a long time. It's going to default to have you reported this member's final contributions, service, and loans, if applicable. I'm going to say yes. And then the final piece of information I need to specify is the termination date. So I'll click in, and John was officially done with my employer on April 3rd. So we'll select April 3rd, and then I will click submit. When I'm done with that, I'll go back to my account homepage. Now, the notifications where you need to take action, you often have the ability to remove them as the security holder. That being said, when you look at that date due, once that date is passed, the notification will also remove itself from your list. And that's it. Now, there are many different flavors of notification that you as employers may receive. So we have, for example, salary and service certifications that will come in and request that you supply that information. When employer reporters successfully post a report, you will also see that information here. But these notifications are grouped by security. So if there's a notification that you feel like you need to receive that maybe you're not, take a look at our employer security roles and Retirement Online handout, and then work with your security administrator to make sure you have the correct security roles. Now, given that we've started our system upgrade, you will be able to do that once the system comes back online in mid-May.
Thanks, Jordan and Rebecca, for that demonstration. We will now begin taking questions about notifications and the scenarios that were just demonstrated. Okay, our first question. If there are changes to loan deduction amounts, will we receive a letter in the mail or on Retirement Online?
So I'll take this one, Anna. This is Jordan again. So when a loan deduction changes, there are two steps that we take at NYSLRS. So we send the member a communication that says your deduction amount has changed, and we tell them what the new deduction amount is. As the employer, you would then receive a notification in Retirement Online to go view that service credit purchase and loan deduction change page that we just accessed. When that notification does pop up in your dashboard, your appropriate security holders will receive an email to their inbox that says that you need to go check Retirement Online for those deduction changes. At any point, you can go check that. As Rebecca discussed earlier, that page is accessible from the employer reporting dashboard. So you can always check and sort by the latest loan and service credit purchase deduction changes in order to make sure that your system is up to date and that you've captured everything.
Okay, our next question. How will we be notified when an employee requires an adjustment report, RS 2050, to be submitted for them?
Hi, this is Beth Wicks. I am the Assistant Director in the Member and Employer Services Bureau, who is responsible for employer services, which includes employer reporting. You will not receive a notification to submit an adjustment report. If you're working with another business unit, you won't get a notification. They'll instruct you on what you need to do directly. But going forward in the new system, we do have a difference between what is considered an adjustment and a regular or monthly report. So an adjustment is actually a correction to previously reported data. And if you are the person who is the uploader and attempting to upload a file, if you are trying to submit an adjustment to data that was not previously reported, you will get a message telling you that you need to submit a regular report, or vice versa. If you attempt to submit a regular or monthly report for data that's already been reported, you will get a message saying submit an adjustment report. The member has previously been reported.
Excellent, thank you, Beth. A permanent employee application was faxed to the retirement system. We received a fax confirmation on this. Does this mean we do not have to enter them in when the online registration begins?
Hello, my name is Margaret Barbarisi. I'm an Assistant Director in Member and Employer Services Bureau, and I am responsible for enrollment to the retirement system. Before you submit your first report, download the member contribution rate page. If the member appears on that page, then the registration is complete. If the person is a mandatory member and they do not appear, you can enroll them online before submitting your report.
Okay, our next question. Will enrollments come in daily, weekly? Will the line contain registration numbers? If not, do I have to go to another tab to access that?
Hi, this is Beth Wicks again. One of the pages that you are going to spend a lot of time looking at is called the Member Contribution Rates page, and we're encouraging you to look at that to get, if you don't have the registration number or the NYSLRS ID, which you will need in order to correct any rejects should you be, or errors or warnings, excuse me, should you be the person submitting a file, that will be updated daily, and you can keep referring to that page if you're looking for, again, that information for the registration number or NYSLRS ID and contribution rates, etc.
Okay. Our next question, will regular arrears and 414 arrears be noted separately? How do you know if the SCP is 414H?
Hi, I'll jump in on this one. My name is Lori. In terms of the deductions, just like we do today, we currently handle service credit purchase deductions, or also known as arrears, as either 414H deductions or not 414H, right? So one is pre-tax and one is post-tax. And that's pretty much the nomenclature that we'll use in Retirement Online. We will list on that service credit purchase and loan deduction page the amount of any one deduction and whether it is pre-tax or post-tax.
Our next question, are the deduction amounts for each payroll or monthly?
All the deduction information that you'll find on that page is listed according to the your payroll frequency.
All right. Will we get any paper notifications for employees like before?
Now, the expectation is that we will communicate with you through Retirement Online. I do believe that when the notifications go out about the service credit purchase deductions and loan deduction changes or starts or stops, that those notifications are time boxed, and I think that what happens is if you don't read it in a timely manner, there's a follow-up notification sent to your contact administrator to make sure that it gets someone's attention.
What actions are we required to take when a member leaves our employment?
So I think that the demo that we had earlier, where Jordan showed you the notification where we detected that someone had not been reported in a while. I think the term is roughly 4 months. If we don't see someone, we'll ask you. But that doesn't mean that you can't be proactive. You can also let us know that a member has left employment. That becomes easier to do once you move to our enhanced format, which is part of our gold certification program, which will be launching in earnest beginning this summer. But if someone does simply not get reported for several months, you'll receive that notification that Jordan showed you, and that's an easy way for you to report that to us.
All right, our next question. Can you address how we find the reg number versus the R number that you show on the notifications page?
Hi, this is Beth Wicks again. Again, this is the member contribution rates page that you can print or download to Excel, and you would see that information there. It has the member's name, both of those numbers, and some additional information that you will find useful. We encourage you probably at the beginning too, if you're enrolling new members, to check that page daily for any updates that might have happened. If internal staff has completed an enrollment, that information will be there the next day, and anybody you would enroll online will be there immediately.
Thanks, Beth. Can I print the notifications, such as the new loan notice?
So that page, the loan service credit purchase deduction change page, can be printed. I mean, it can be exported directly to Excel, just like some of the other tables that you might view in Retirement Online, and then you can print that for your records.
Next question. If I'm on vacation for 2 weeks and I return past the due date, will I be notified again to make the appropriate changes?
So this is Lori, you'll receive an email whenever you receive a notification, but those notifications will simply remain in Retirement Online. So in that example, when you return from vacation, assuming that the first thing you're going to want to do is log in, you would log into Retirement Online and those notifications would be waiting for you. And if for some reason you miss them there, you can always navigate to the Service Credit Purchase and Loan Deduction page, and you can sort on an effective date, and it will always show you any changes that have occurred since you've last looked.
Okay, our next question is a two-part question. On the home page where it has date due, will the date due be removed even if we didn't process the item? And if it is removed on the date due, can we retrieve it?
So I believe when the notifications are gone, they're gone. However, that doesn't mean that NYSLRS will not follow up. Right.
Right. If for some reason a large period of time went by and the notifications did expire, what would happen procedurally is that if you didn't change somebody's deduction, or you didn't start a deduction or stop it in time, through the act of employer reporting, presumably the next time you report it, if you hadn't started the payment, we would notify you that there were improper withholdings taken, and if you had did not change the payment, again, information will be on the improper withholdings report, or perhaps a warning in the employer report, depending what you did or didn't do. So you'll get feedback pretty much immediately.
All right. If EE is listed on member contributions rate page, there is no need to upload their application once the system is back up. That's a question.
Hello, this is Margaret again. If you are seeing your employee's name there and a contribution rate, it would be for your employment instance. When we speak to uploading applications, that is only for optional members. If this person, just as a side note, is determined to be mandatory with you and their information isn't there, you would just report that information to us, but we do not need a membership application. Again, you'll only be asked to upload a membership application if you are registering an optional member.
And I think the important thing to recognize is that if your employee shows up on that member contribution rate page at your place of employment, then they are registered. We have the information we need.
That's correct.
Okay, our next question. The Business Service Center, or BSC, was under the impression that our payroll unit would not have to handle manual entry of loans and arrears, that NYSLRS would feed that information directly to PayServe. Is this no longer the case?
It's a great question. So we have a mixed audience today. We have local employers and we have a large number of employers who are state payroll. They're reported through the state payroll, and specifically that's what the BSC group is. Any employers who are state agencies who are reported to NYSLRS through state payroll, that is correct, that we will be sharing that information directly back with PayServe, so you do not need to take any action. You will, however, continue to see the notifications and be able to access these pages so that you can stay informed about these changes.
Thank you, Lori. Will arrears, retirement information, and loan deductions be taken automatically, or will we have to update PayServe for each transaction?
Again, if it's a state payroll reported agency, we will be communicating with PayServe directly, and those changes and deductions, whether they be new deductions, changes, or stops, will be applied automatically by payroll.
All right, our next question. Can more than one person be on the list to receive notifications by email at our district?
So the notifications that you receive or do not receive are directly tied to the security roles that you have in Retirement Online. So again, I reference you back to our employer security roles in Retirement Online sheet. It should be attached to this presentation. And if there's a notification there that you believe you need to receive, work with your security administrator to make sure that you have the correct security role so that you also receive that notification.
When you look at those pages, also pay attention to the fact that we have a slightly different list for our local employers than we do for our state agencies, because the rules are a little different because of the involvement of state payroll. So just make sure you're looking at the right list.
Okay, our next question. We have an employee hired April 17th. If I cannot register her in NYSLRS until mid to late May, how will her deductions be caught up?
Hello, this is Margaret. Once you register her to membership, you will obviously be giving all the pertinent information you need to report the person, including the contributory rate. As far as service prior to that date when you register her, so April 17th to when you finally register her to membership, you will report the salary and days for that service, and then we will address the arrears situation. She will be notified of any arrears she owes on that service prior to when you register her to membership, and she'll be given the option, like she is now, of paying it in a lump sum or making payroll deductions. If the person chooses payroll deductions, you will be notified of how much money needs to be deducted from the check.
I think the part to emphasize is that the sooner that we get that early information, the days and earnings, the sooner that we can get the service credit purchase calculated and get the deductions started. That will take care of that missing information a lot quicker, and the more quickly we do it, the less it costs our members.
And this is Beth. I'd like to emphasize as well that the date in this example was April 17th, but you may have had somebody you reported in March. And going back to the difference between regular reports and adjustment reports, in the past when you have waited, when we were in our legacy system, when you waited for a registration number, you would catch up the salary and service using an adjustment form. That is no longer the case. You would submit an additional regular or monthly report for those members.
Exactly. You would just include the missing information for the members that you didn't get a chance to enroll on a timely basis. And in our previous system, you were not allowed to have more than one monthly report with a particular monthly date. You can have as many as you need, as long as the information has not already been reported.
All right, thank you, everyone. Will we get an email that tells us there is a notification online for us to view?
This is Jordan again. So we've actually seen this question a lot of times. As long as you have that correct security role, you will receive an email to the business email address we have on file for you informing you that there are new notifications in Retirement Online and actually giving you the direct link to click and go into Retirement Online and view those notifications. And I believe that comes from no reply at osc.ny.gov or osc.state.ny.us.
That's our no reply.
So please make sure that that is allowed in your email inbox so that you can get these notifications after we go live.
So now we're going to move on to talk about go live readiness. All right, our first question. Do we have to use a specific web browser to use Retirement Online?
Hi, this is Rebecca Fisher again. I'm a transition coach with NYSLRS. So you should use Internet Explorer or Google Chrome to access Retirement Online.
Thanks, Rebecca. Our next question, how or does my current file format have to change?
Hi, this is Rebecca again. So essentially your file format will remain the same. There'll be a few alterations. There'll be no headers, no footers, and no totals. So the headers, footers, and totals will need to be removed. And you should also remove any blank lines from the file and any members whose gross salary and days of service are both equal to 0.
Thanks, Rebecca. Our next question, when will we be able to submit our April reports, and when are we able to begin enrolling new members?
Hi, this is Beth. You will be able to submit your April reports as soon as Retirement Online is made available in mid-May. We know that this is different than your normal reporting schedule since you are required to get your reports in by the 7th of the following month. So we're going to give everybody until May 24th to submit their April reports. You should use the enrollment dashboard to enroll any new members before submitting your April report. If you're going to include them on that report, that enrollment reporting dashboard will be available when we go live.
All right, our next question. Thank you, Beth. I would like to know what kind of problems we may encounter. And also, I am not familiar with how to make an adjustment report. Would like to go over that.
Okay. So a lot of the errors that we currently see or we were seeing, now that we've switched over, it's not current anymore, have to do with subsequent employment applications. So the fact that you have hired somebody who is already a member, you now need to make sure you enroll them with you. It's not just for Tier 6, it's for all tiers, so that you have that connection to your employer, that the member is associated with them, and that you can begin reporting them. The other major issue we see is control initial. That is when, for whatever reason, your employee has changed their last name and they have not yet updated it with the retirement system. So one thing we'd like to encourage you to do is to have the name change form that's available on our website available at your desk whenever you're notified of a name change, to encourage your members to submit those to us. And that should eliminate that problem if they get that done. And we're going to be providing some additional guidance on how to resolve those errors. I think Rebecca referred earlier to the page, and we're going to be updating some of the documents there. As far as adjustment reports go, there are 2 ways to submit them. One is paper, but we actually prefer that you submit them electronically. And if you go to the NYSLRS website, to the employer page, on the left-hand side, it says employer information, and there is a link to the employer's guide, and there are directions on how to create those adjustment reports.
Our next question is about security roles. Can you better define security roles and what they can do?
Hi, excuse me, this is Rebecca again, and thank you for that question. We have actually posted a document in the handouts section you can access right now. It's right here in the webinar. It details the information about each role as well as the types of notifications that they'll receive.
All right, thank you, Rebecca. Our next question, do we have to enroll employees that are optional, seasonal, or part-time that choose not to join? I've been told that that will be in about 2 years, but I wanted to confirm that as of now, we're only enrolling optional employees that want to join the retirement system.
Hello, this is Margaret, and as you are correct, if an optional member does not want to join and you are not on the enhanced report yet, you would not have to provide that information. If you are an enhanced reporter, we ask that you provide the information for all of your employees, whether or not they choose to enroll. So if you are not enhanced, that's not information that we will ask of you for someone choosing not to enroll.
Thank you, Margaret. Next question. Employers with new location codes are not able to practice in retirement online, correct?
So because of when we actually extracted our last data from our system, there are some employers with new location codes who've not yet had the opportunity to practice. When we go live, we have targeted you and we'll be working with you very closely to make sure that you have the support that you need to enroll your members as well as submit your reports. That being said, we do ask that you complete any training so that you are ready when we do work with you after Retirement Online goes live in mid-May.
Okay. Do I have to register all summer employees even if they choose not to join the retirement system?
Hello, this is Margaret, and if you do have a summer employee, certainly they need to be afforded the opportunity to participate, but if they choose not to join, and you are not an enhanced reporter, you do not have to report that information to NYSLRS.
Thank you, Margaret. Our next question, when we begin using the online monthly reporting system, will we be using the new registration numbers for employers or the current registration numbers we are using now?
Hi, this is Beth. You are not going to change the format of your file. You're going to use the registration number. Rebecca went through the changes that you needed to make to the file, which really has to do with the formatting, not the actual content or the data that it contains. So there would be no changes to that.
My upload due date is usually the 7th of the month. Do you have a date yet that we would be required to upload RIR?
Okay, this is Beth. I think what you're asking is, so by retirement and Social Security law, again, you are required to submit a file by the 7th of the month following the month end date, but we know that many of you submit those files earlier than that. We will let you know when the system is available to begin accepting reports for a particular month. You'll get an email, and then there'll be a notice in your, it's not a notification, but there'll be something in your employer reporting dashboard that tells you that the system is available for you to begin submitting, or will accept reports for that particular month.
So this question's along those lines. Will we be notified via email when the support sessions will start for entering in our monthly report? Also, is it recommended to send April's report ASAP?
This is Jordan. So we will be making those support sessions available. These will be different from maybe the training that you've completed already. This will really be focused on helping you to either enroll your members in Retirement Online, so those that maybe you've held since we started our stockpile activities in March and April, or to help you submit your April reports. What was the other part of that question, Anna?
Is it recommended that the April report be submitted ASAP?
Yes, so as Beth indicated earlier, we will be going live in mid-May and we'll be looking to get all reports into the system for May 24th. So we ask that more or less as soon as you are notified that the system is live, you either go in and try or register for a support session so that we can help you get your reports in a timely manner.
Our next question is 3 lovely questions, all lumped together. Have all employees been assigned the new retirement numbers? If they have, where can we get that information? And as well, will those new numbers need to be used for the April reporting?
Yes, this is Beth. All employees have been assigned a NYSLRS ID. And again, the member contribution rates page is going to be your best resource in Retirement Online to get all of that information. And what was part 3? Wait a minute. Oh.
Will those new
Yes.
numbers
And I'm
need-
sorry, yes. As I stated before, there's no change to the content of the data in the legacy report. You continue to use the registration number, but when you submit that file, again, you're going to want those NYSLRS IDs, because if you have an error or warning, that's how you're going to identify that member on your file.
All right, so our next question is along those lines. I have faxed over numerous applications for members. When will I be receiving their ERS numbers so that I can enter them in our system?
Hello, this is Margaret. When you've been faxing over the applications, you should have received verifications. So you should know exactly the number of applications that were received on your behalf, as well as the date received. Around mid-May, we will begin hopefully going live, like I said, like other folks have said, mid-May. And we will be registering them in order of receipt. Upon registration, you will be notified of the membership status.
Our next question, prior to submitting a new registration, is there a search feature to see if an employee is already enrolled in NYSLRS?
Okay, this is Beth. The member contribution rates page, you can download the entire piece of information, or you can search for a single person if you wish to do that. That will be, again, the place where you're going to look for them.
Let's see, this question. So a new member's date of membership will now be when that person is registered, not the actual date they started because of the Retirement Online upgrade?
Hi, this is Margaret. No, that's not the instance. Especially for optional members, that's why we are having you fax the information to us. So as long as we have the information and they were working that day, their date of membership will be the receipt date of that fax. That's why, as I indicated, we're asking you to submit those optional membership applications now through the fax. Obviously, if someone is mandatory, it would always be on the date of that mandatory status. We will not be waiting to establish dates of membership based solely on the upgrade.
Are all payroll provider companies going to provide the monthly reporting information in the format needed to report the April monthly report using Retirement Online?
Well, since there's no change, this is Beth, sorry. Since there's no change to the format, except for removing the headers and trailers and any totals, I do not think that they will be making any changes unless you've contacted them directly to ask for assistance. We do have information on the website on how to alter your report so that it meets those criteria. And also, if you register for one of the practice sessions and practice uploading your file, you should be able to tell from that if your file will work, or if whatever changes you made will help you get your file through and submitted. We will be working, just to add to that too, we are working directly with some of the payroll providers for the enhanced reporting. So we do know some of those companies currently are making some changes, and we'll be working with them going forward so that when you move to enhanced reporting, that will be available to you.
Just to build on that last bit, we've received a few questions about, am I enhanced, or how do I know if I'm enhanced? At this point, everyone who will be reporting enhanced shortly after our go live in mid-May is already aware. We will be working with employers and payroll providers to transition over. So if you're not one of our 7 employers who's starting early, you will be reporting in legacy.
Our next question. Currently, I submit membership applications in payroll department. Will I still be able to do this, or would personnel only be allowed to submit new member registrations?
So please remember, when we talk about our security roles, we're not necessarily talking about the way that your organization functions. So when we say that a personnel security holder must enroll a member, that could be any individual in your organization to whom you've given that security. So if you have a need to submit that registration in your payroll department, just make sure that somebody in that department has that personnel security role, and you'll be able to submit that registration.
To follow up on that point that Jordan made, We offer those security roles so that you can understand what they will have access to do. How you choose to assign them in your organization is purely your choice. We don't have limitations that say that people can only have one. If you do everything at your organization, then maybe you need to have every security role. You can also have multiple people with the same security role. It's totally, we've built this in a way that it's flexible enough that hopefully you can assign who you need to be able to do whatever work it is that happens in your organization.
Our next question, I have a retired person working. I do not report them, correct?
This is Beth. That is correct. You do not report retirees. That will change in enhanced reporting, but do not add them to the monthly report right now. You are, however, responsible for monitoring how much their wages are, that they don't exceed any of the limits imposed by the section that they were hired under.
Our next question, should we submit all new members on the April report, day's salary with no contributions?
This is Beth. So on the April report, you are going to submit all of the earnings, days, contributions for April. So yes, you would submit contributions for April. If you are trying to catch them up from previous months, you would be submitting a March report separately for them, and you might not, or I'm sorry, you wouldn't send any contributions for them. But again, you have to have the registration number in order to include them on the April report. If you're waiting, we don't suggest that you wait to submit the report, or you register them through the enrollment dashboard if you have time, do that right away. Otherwise, you can submit more April reports later as you catch up with them. If they're late, if they are submitted after the 24th of May, then you would not take contributions.
And this is Margaret. I just like to interject. Please do not include them on the report if you haven't heard from us that we've established that membership. You really do need to wait for that contact from us to verify that that membership has been established first.
Margaret, couldn't they also look at the member contribution rate page? They don't have to wait to get a piece of mail. If they see the registration number on their member contribution rate page, they know that we have done the work that they sent to us.
Yeah, that is correct. There are numerous ways that you can verify that we've established that membership, but whether the contribution rate page or a notification, just make sure that you've noticed somewhere that that membership has been established.
Thank you. All right. Next question, in the future, in the new file format, do we still include employees that have retired or left our employment, as they would have all zeros for the days and salary reported?
Hey, this is Beth. You have to have something to report to us to include them on the file. You can't report anybody to us with all zeros. So if they have no wages, then you would not report them to us. You can't report days without salaries. So again, the salary is the most important factor in reporting that member or employee to us. Even in the new system too, I know some of you may keep people with zeros. You have a file that you've already created. And then you update your members' information each month so that you may have members on there that do not have any earnings or days to report to us. Those would be considered warnings now, and you will not be able to submit them in the with your file any longer, so you'd have to remove them before submitting the file.
I think what's important to note is the questions that you're asking pertain to really are more pertinent to the enhanced file format, which, as Jordan pointed out, there's only a handful of employers are currently jumping onto the enhanced format, but they're not even going on it until after they submit their April report in the legacy format. So I would just ask you to, we will have plenty of training and information available for you when it's time to transition to the enhanced format. That's where we include a broader population of your employees, and some of these questions are more relevant. I think the key message here for today is when it comes to reporting in April, your April report in May is that it's what you've been practicing. Hopefully you've signed up for a file upload session. You confirm that you can navigate the pages, that you have the right security access to the right pages, and that you understand what needs to happen. We do understand that it's a little tricky because you might have some new registrations that are missing. If you have any questions about that, hopefully we've cleared them up. If not, I would invite you to call the Retirement Help Desk, and we will attempt to work you through what will be the best path for your situation.
Thank you. Our next question, I saw in the training environment that if the employee is already enrolled into another retirement program, we cannot continue to process. What do we do if the employee needs to belong to both NYSLRS and NYSTRS?
Hello, this is Margaret. If you are getting a pop-up that is indicating that there's some type of conflict about different retirement systems, you can certainly reach out to NYSLRS. We do have folks that are in multiple retirement systems simultaneously, such as teachers and NYSLRS. It's just that someone cannot be retired from one system and continue to accrue service credit in another system. So that scenario does occur.
Okay, what if a new employee does not have contributions withheld as Tier 2 or already has met the 10-year requirement? Where do we find them?
This is Beth again. You will find them on the member contribution rates page. Their contribution rate will be 0, but they will show on that page. For somebody who has met their cessation date, you will also see their cessation date, so you can confirm that as well.
Are part-time employees that have retired from another ERS job required to be on the report?
Your employees who are retired from any one of the public retirement systems in New York State are currently not required to be reported to NYSLRS on your legacy file. That conversation will shift when we move to the enhanced report, but not until then.
All right, our last question. I have an employee out on unpaid leave. Since she is now all zeros, do I leave her off the submitted report until she returns?
This is Beth. Yes, you would leave her off the report until she returns. And yes, try not to forget when she returns to put her back on the report.
So the bottom line is if someone's getting a paycheck, they should be on the report.
That is true.
Thank you. All right, our final question. Is everyone going to enhanced reporting?
Yes, that is our goal. There are a lot of improvements, we believe, to benefits for employers as well as our members, as well as the retirement system. The enhanced reporting, we're all very excited about it. The small group of pilot employers that we're working with are very pleased with what they've experienced so far in their testing. And we will eventually, beginning this summer, start to chart out a number of transition groups. It is our goal to get all of our employers onto enhanced reporting in about 2.5 years.
Thank you, Lori. All right, before we sign off, we want to cover a few next steps. On the Learn More and Get Ready for Retirement online section of our website, we have many printable resources available for you, including step-by-step quick guides. Feel free to print any resources you feel may be helpful to you. While we're in the midst of our system upgrade, you can continue to take refresher training by taking one of the self-paced trainings available, or by signing up for one of our Refresh and Retrain practice webinars. These practice webinars will be available until May 3rd. After that, we'll be replacing those practice sessions with facilitated retirement online support sessions for both member enrollment and reporting. Those facilitated sessions will provide you real support for completing real transactions with real data in Retirement Online once it becomes available on May 14th. Once Retirement Online becomes available, you will need to submit your April report before May 24th. If you have been holding any member enrollments, you should complete those first before submitting your report. We encourage you to try completing your enrollments and submitting your report on your own first, but we're here to help if you need it. If you have a few questions, sign up for a facilitated session. If you need some more one-on-one type of support, you can always call our help desk. Again, we have recorded all of your questions today, so if your question was not answered, we will respond to it either by following up with you one-on-one or as part of a broader communication and perhaps the topic of a future webinar. On behalf of all of us here at the New York State and local retirement system, we thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to visit with us today. And we look forward to seeing you again. If you have any questions until then, please feel free to call our help desk at 1-844-619-9614 or send us an email at retirementhelpdesk@osc.ny.gov. Thank you so much, and we look forward to speaking to you soon.